Hey guys, quickly trying to address EIP-1559 and all the drama related with it, right? So, as somebody who's mined before, and as somebody who does support EIP-1559, to the extent I want there to be equilibrium, right? So, looking at this chart here, pretty much we can see the subsidy of block rewards and transaction fees, right? This is provided by the block, and really we're going to talk about it really quick and understand the logic behind EIP-1559 and drama behind it. So the main argument is that miners should be getting as much money as possible, and EIP will take away all their profit. Let me prove that wrong. First off is that miners obviously get paid a block reward, as we can see here in dark blue, and they also get paid in transaction fees, seen in the red. Right, so why do you see transaction fees being so high as of lately? Is because the network is congested. A lot of people are overpaying for their fees. Hence, miners just simply sit back, kick their feet back, and make money. Now, their claim is that they're going to lose tons of money, and let me prove that wrong. First off is EIP-1559 simply burns the base fee. It's not like all their revenue is gone, and it's not like all their transaction fees are, revenue is gone also. In fact, they'll make it back through tips and such, and they also do get subsidy from the block rewards. It's not like they're going broke. Now, I understand the argument is that miners, you call them Ethereum miners, but they're really just miners. They have no ties, no relationship to Ethereum. The only thing they have is that they'll make enough money which will offset their needs and wants to act maliciously, right? A miner is not going to act maliciously, or probably not going to, because they make enough money doing it the right way, right? Than rather being malicious, as stated in Satoshi's white paper. Right? And they wanted to stage a protest, which was show of force of essentially saying, look, we are the 51%, and you have to do as we say, because you're taking away all our transaction fees. It's not the case. We're not taking all their transaction fees away. So that's neither here or there. So I wanted to ask, right? And this is for all the miners out there who are participating in this. Where were you, right? Where were you in April 2018 when transaction fees literally accounted for, I don't know how many percent, literally less than 2%? Where were you, right, when you were getting less than 2% of your total revenue was transaction fees? Where was the 51% protest then? Where was the 51 protest from literally January, since inception, really, all the way up to now? Where was the protest? Where was the protest in December 2019 when you were literally getting nothing as transaction fees? If transaction fees were so important, where was the protest then? When transaction fees accounted for literally nothing of your revenue. You understand why you get transaction fees? Do miners really understand why they get transaction fees? You get transaction fees because people use the network. They like to use Ethereum network. So they will pay it because they want to use the network. But when your fees are so high, exorbitantly high, now you have a sense of people don't want to use the network. And guess what? Your transaction fees are going to drop naturally because people don't want to use the network. How do you think, right, your subsidy for block rewards is so high? You think you created that value? No, the value comes from people utilizing the network, supporting the network, buying Ethereum, not miners, right? If you didn't have users, one, you wouldn't have transaction fees. You wouldn't even get a chance to talk about how you're missing out on transaction fees because you wouldn't get any. There wouldn't be any users, right? The value of your block rewards wouldn't be there either. It would be a shitcoin without any users on the network. Ethereum gets its value from its users, right? This is why there's ghost chains that literally miners don't get any transaction fees because no one uses it, right? This is only possible on Ethereum. Now, I'm not saying that we need to pay miners as little as possible for the most security. I understand that the more you get, the less likely you're going to act maliciously because you're making so much doing it the right way. And I get it. You have no ties to Ethereum. You know, calling you guys Ethereum miners is hilarious because you're just miners. You have no ties to Ethereum, right? So you will value, and it's completely natural that you will value 1 or 2 months revenue over long term because you honestly have no ties to Ethereum. But the people who have built applications, the users who are using the network, do have ties to the network, unlike you, right? And you know, that positive feedback loop that Satoshi said, more users, higher price, more users. It's the same concept here. But if you're driving away users, the value of your subsidy is going to drop. No one's going to be paying transaction fees because no one's using the network, right? So there needs to be this equilibrium where miners get paid as much as possible and, you know, Ethereum price stays high, right? And that at the same time you're not driving away users. There needs to be equilibrium. And miners don't understand this because ultimately they're not tied to Ethereum. Calling them Ethereum miners is literally hilarious because just look at you know, all the comments on these miner YouTube channels. They're not tied to Ethereum. You know, they can another coin at any time, and most of them won't because, as Satoshi said, they're not because they're getting paid well, and they know that once the EIP-1559 goes through, they're still gonna get paid a lot. But obviously, they want as much revenue as possible, no matter the cost to the network, because ultimately they have no ties to the network. They don't care how many users are on the network, even though they should, right? Because they're literally getting paid by users of the network using these applications, right? Where do you think their money comes from? But, I mean, again, I'm just literally asking for miners to kind of have, you know, that understanding of why this is happening. If transaction fees weren't crazy high, EIP-1559 wouldn't be a thing. If it wasn't so congested, right? If all these problems weren't there, EIP-1559 wouldn't be there. It wouldn't be even talked about. It wouldn't be implemented. There's a reason why it's being implemented. Anyways, that's all. I spent enough time talking about it.